Hello, I'm Malcolm Cooper and I'm lucky enough to have been appointed as Project Director for the separation and sale of a majority stake of our gas distribution business. I say I'm lucky enough that I look forward to it as a really fantastic opportunity. I'm really excited about it. I've spent the last 15 years as Tax and Treasury Director for National Grid, and that has been a brilliant job. I've really loved it and really enjoyed myself. But actually this is just a huge challenge that I'm really excited about. Now, the first thing we have to actually do before we can even think about selling a stake in our gas distribution business is actually create the gas distribution business. If you look today, we have a series of assets that relate to gas distribution, a series of employees that operate on those assets, but actually all of the other parts of what is normally a business just don't exist today in relation to the gas distribution business. Today, those assets are held within a company, National Grid Gas plc, but the business activity of gas distribution is held alongside the business activity for gas transmission and the business activity for metering. Within that company, we've got shared infrastructure, systems, assets, property. That company has debt funding all three business activities rather than any one business activity. That company buys things in the external market, services, contractors, equipment, pencils. It buys all of that as a company on a nice standalone basis. It also gets services from the rest of National Grid. Things like finance, HR, IS, legal, all of those things are provided as services from other parts of National Grid into that company. That's where we are today. Now, the first thing we have to do to allow us to sell a stake in our gas distribution business is to create that business. So we need to split all those things out. Step one, we need to incorporate a new company. Let's call it Gas Distribution Company. We then need to move the assets, and this is the operating assets, it's the gas mains and the PRSs and all that sort of equipment. Move all of those assets into the new company. Before we can do that, we need consent from Ofgem. We also need to build all the infrastructure that company needs. So today, if you look at SAP, we have a single SAP system that is used by the whole of National Grid in the UK. We actually need to split that into two. So we have an SAP system that's used by Gas Distribution Company and an SAP system that's used by the rest of National Grid. Purchase orders. We need to split those purchase orders. So if you want to buy pencils in Gas Distribution Company, you need a purchase order for that. Now I know pencils is a simple example, but actually there are huge numbers of purchases that company buys. We need to split all those out. Debt. We need to actually split the debt out. So we need debt in Gas Distribution Company and debt in the remaining National Grid Gas plc. So that debt that currently funds all of those activities needs to be split. And then finally, and most importantly, we actually need to move people in there. Today, the people that operate in the assets are easy to identify, and they will obviously just move straight across. But what we also need to identify is the people that provide services to that company in services like finance and HR and legal, and actually move those into the Gas Distribution Company, so that basically we can create a standalone company which we can then sell a stake in that company to the external investors. Huge amount of work. We're just starting to plan on that. The project kicked off a few weeks ago when we made the announcement. We've got the team together to work on that now. But actually our first task is just identifying what we need to move across. And that is a wide range of things. Now, what this means for individuals is people are sitting there thinking, well, do I move? What do I do? Does it change my life? Does it change my role? The honest answer is today, we just don't have those answers. We need to work out who needs to move, what needs to move, what assets need to move, what systems need to move, and all those things. And there's a lot of planning to do to move those across. Now, we will get back to employees as quickly as we can with answers to all their questions in relation to all of these things. But we need to do that initial planning to work out how we take today's situation where we have a single company, National Grid Gas plc, and create a new distribution company which is a standalone, self-fulfilling company that can fulfil its obligations on a standalone basis.